This is the Irish Museum of Modern Art in Dublin. Inside are 12 artists with canvases prepped and brushes poised.
They're about to paint the portraits of 3 celebrity sitters for 3 hypercritical judges.
But with just 4 hours to complete their work, whose talent will outshine the rest? Who will be the next Sky Arts Portrait Artist of the Year?
Today is the final heat in our search to find exciting new artistic talent.
How many of these brushes do you think you will use? It's the most ample collection of brushes I've seen. 12 new artists have put in their skills on display.
Well, I think if things go really bad, I'll just put that up in front.
In a battle for a possibly life-changing prize, a £10,000 commission for the Scottish National Portrait Gallery.
Sometimes you can stand back and it's a lovely eye in the wrong place.
But standing in their way are 3 judges: independent curator and art historian Kathleen Soriano, head of contemporary at the Fine Art Society Kate Bryan, and award-winning artist Taishan Scherenberg.
There's no doubt this is very accomplished.
It's incredibly accomplished.
But with just 4 hours to paint,
there's so many things that can go wrong.
Who will impress?
I'm kind of out of my comfort zone.
and make it through to the semi-final.
The pressure's on, yeah.
With only one available place in the semi-final, today's 12 new artists will have to hold their nerve under the pressure of a 4-hour time limit and in front of the public.
I haven't done anything like this in the past. This is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it last year, so I thought I'd apply again. So it's good to be back.
I usually draw people in 5 minutes, so 4 hours is gonna feel good.
I'm just going to try and paint a decent picture and not fall flat on my face.
All of the artists applied for the competition with a digital version of a self-portrait, and today the real thing is on display. 2 of today's artists made the heats last year, but only one made it to the short list of 3.
I think we recognise this guy, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just love the light, the warmth and the softness. And he's very good at picking out just the hair is beautiful and his teeth are just showing. I think I like the expression on his face. I think it's a very beautiful painting.
He did very well last time. He was nearly won.
Yeah, he was. So he's one to watch.
Yeah.
So I remember Anya.
Did she work in watercolour last year? I seem to remember oil.
Yeah.
A self-portrait of a woman in pastel watercolours should be quite feminine, but it's not. It's got this real strength to it.
It's actually a great advert for watercolour painting, isn't it? Because it's got such balls.
Yeah.
We loved this fantastical thing. We thought it was incredibly brave to sort of take the notions of symbolist art and throw it all together with this half-man, half-horse.
And then when you say we, you mean you and Ty.
Yes,
I just like that said for the record.
Oh, OK.
I think it's brave. He's producing something that isn't like others, but at the same time he's saying, look, I can still do a really good head. Here we've got Russell Crowe.
It looks so much like Russell Crowe, doesn't it?
He's been working with the grain of the board to get these fantastic tones. And it's a very beautiful, soft light.
It's almost like he's been looking at futurist painting.
Yeah.
But get that sense of movement and fragmentation. So he's getting close to fragmenting the skin tones, but not quite doing it.
I really like it. It's brilliant.
The self-portraits also give the artists a chance to get to know each other.
That's amazing.
This is a nice one here.
Yeah, that's really nice.
She must have done that a few years ago.
It's brilliant.
It's a tricky thing painting yourself, though, isn't it? I find I don't have as much empathy for myself as I would for someone else.
I mean, I've overdone the ugliness in it, I think.
Oh, OK.
I prefer to do that and go the other way, but...
Yeah.
Professional artist Kenny McKendry is from County Antrim. He spent 12 years as an illustrator before changing his artistic focus to landscapes and portraits.
It's my granny's palette. It's the only one I've ever used my whole life. It's very small, mind you. My granny used to paint a bit, but I kind of inherited it from her when she died, and
just started using it as a kid and I've used it ever since.
Putting out all my weapons, I suppose, going to war.
Just setting up the binoculars, they're just for looking. They'll get me to see a lot closer, get the detail, hopefully. They're for bird watching, but they'll do okay for the day, hopefully.
Amateur artist Enda Griffin is currently on a career break from managing a community college. He's hoping to realise his dream of working in art full-time.
I'm going to do a drawing first and then transfer that to board. That's the plan. So imagine I'm someone famous and important.
While the artist can control their materials, they can't control who their sitter is.
I guess my ideal sitter would be a rock star in couture or something fabulous like that.
I'm hoping it's female. That is my main thing. I really do hope it's female.
So, artist, your sitter today is the star of the large and small screen. He is Colm Meaney.
What?
Originally from Dublin, Colm Meaney's varied roles have seen him hold up a radio station in Alpha Papa and travel through the solar system in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Nice to meet you.
Have you been painted before, Colm?
I have not been painted before. This is the first. I've no idea what kind of subject I'll end up being, whether I'm an open book or a rather complex, hidden personality. I'm not sure. You know, it's up to you guys, I guess.
Now, artists, your sitter for today is a distinguished singer, songwriter, and violinist. Please welcome Sharon Corr. Award-winning musician Sharon found initial success with the band The Corrs, selling over 45 million albums before establishing her solo career.
Hello. You're really dressed for this
I am
today.
indeed,
I can see that, eh?
How do you feel about it?
Being an artist, to be in the art world from another perspective is kind of a lovely thing. So I'm really intrigued to watch these guys work.
Your sitter today is a witty and intelligent songwriter. Please welcome Neil Hannon. Neil Hannon is the creator and frontman of the Divine Comedy. Known for songs like National Express and Everybody Knows, he also wrote the television theme tune for Father Ted and the IT Crowd. Good luck. How does it feel? Do you fancy that for 4 hours?
It's a little slippy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
I might have to be stuck to my chair.
Well, hopefully the 4 paintings will be grades of you steadily slipping off the chair. Then we can put them together and form a cartoon.
Yeah, stop motion.
You have some expert help in this because you're going to be posed today by the Director of Contemporary at the Fine Arts Society. So please welcome Kate Bryan.
Pose me.
I'm going to pose you.
I don't know what to do.
I think come back with your elbows on the side like that again. And set.
Your legs aren't long enough. What's wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you've got to look at one spot for 4 hours.
One spot.
Have fun.
So is something like this okay? I mean, or would you like something more?
No. I think the most important thing, because it's a long time, is that you're comfortable. So good luck with holding the pose.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And good luck, artists, and look forward to seeing how you get on.
Artists, your challenge is about to begin.
You have 4 hours to complete your work, and the time starts now.
So, tick-tock, it begins.
Whether it's oil, acrylic or watercolour, paint is the preferred option of most of our competitors. But one artist works solely with pencil.
There's so many things that can go wrong. If you get your proportions wrong at this stage, it's going to throw the whole entire drawing. Yeah, but that's about it, unless I get sick on the page.
24-year-old Charlotte Lee is from Limerick. The human anatomy features heavily in her work, but her obsession isn't just about drawing what lies beneath the skin. You have had the anatomy of your foot tattooed on your foot.
Yes,
this has to be seen.
Okay.
So can we see it? Have you seen it?
I'm dying to see it. I've heard about it. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that is extraordinary. What do you make of that, Kate?
I mean, I think it really makes me think of Leonardo, who spent his evenings.
He is my master.
Okay,
Yeah.
Leonardo is your master. I wondered if that was the case.
Have you ever thought about having a tattoo, Jane?
No, I won't have a tattoo. I don't think too old to have a tattoo. You can't have two tattoos on wrinkled skin, can you? A wrinkled tattoo. What a thought.
As well as trying to achieve a lightness, another element of portraiture is trying to add narrative.
Well, I painted myself as a centaur. My son is on my back. And at the time it was painted, he was very sick. There's an element to it that's about fatherhood and about guardianship, I suppose.
Professional artist Connor Walton is from Wicklow. He learnt his traditional painting technique while studying in Florence.
I have to ask you a big question. How many of these brushes do you think you'll use?
Very few.
Today?
But
I think it's the most ample collection of brushes I've seen.
There's a bit of comfort to having everything that I could possibly need.
Yeah, especially in this environment, which is quite strange.
Except I forgot my hairdryer.
Ah, do you
It looks fine.
I'm a little nervous because 4 hours is a really short amount of time to have any kind of finished product. So, you know, it's an interesting challenge.
Here at the Irish Museum of Modern Art, our artists have been challenged to paint the portraits of celebrity sitters Colm Meaney, Sharon Corr and Neil Hannon in just 4 hours.
But for one, it's not just the time limit or the gaze of the judges that's a worry.
I was interested to read that you said you have a fear of the white page.
Yes.
Which I have that as well, for completely different work. Well, if I was writing, for example. So you've gone at it quite quickly.
Yeah, I've just tried to get a likeness as fast as possible.
24-year-old Michelle Keeley graduated from art school in Dublin. She's currently working full-time in a furniture store, but is aiming to become a professional artist.
In your self-portrait, there was an element of distortion with the head as opposed to the body. Was that on purpose, or was that more to do with the camera angle that you might have been using?
It's maybe a little bit of both. So I used one image for the head and another for the actual costume. So I guess that was just a feature that came through.
And are you thinking about doing anything like that with this, or are you just going to keep it straight?
I'm going to just try and paint what's in front of me and do the best that I can with that.
Were you actually wearing that costume?
No,
You invented
unfortunately.
that, did you? Oh, that's...
No, my imagination.
I like the idea of you sitting at home in your medieval armour.
I like that idea too.
I start in a very simple, structural, geometric way, just getting everything in place. And then, so when I'm happy with that, the proportions are all okay, there's a bit of a likeness even at that stage, then I'll kind of go on and refine it.
Professional artist Gareth Reid studied at the Glasgow School of Art. He's been shortlisted for the BP Portrait Award 5 times. Do you do it at work every day? Do you paint?
Most days I teach as well,
Yeah.
but most...
So you've got to
most
be good.
Well, I teach portraiture as well, so
The pressure's
no pressure.
on. Yeah.
Some artists like to iron out any possible composition or proportion issues with a sketch before they commit to canvas.
Originally from the United States, Mark Heng now lives in Limerick. The 4-hour time limit shouldn't faze him. As a caricaturist, he's used to getting the likeness of a person in just 5 minutes.
I really like in your self-portrait that your tones, you got the warm and the cool, and it worked very well.
Thank you.
But your caricature background is one of line. So where did you learn the painting?
Well, I suppose I went to Boston University for painting.
Oh,
and
right.
We had a very tonal sort of
you did?
training, yeah.
So in a very classical or
Exactly,
traditional
yeah.
way of painting?
Mm-hmm.
So that came before the cartooning.
Absolutely, yeah. Cartooning was a summer job.
But a summer
That's
job
turned
that's
into
stuck.
my entire life, yeah.
So this is going to be a caricature.
No, then I'm going to try to play it straight today.
listening to Come On Eileen?
Yeah, you can probably hear it from there, can you? It's the only one that works, actually. I had loads of other albums, but every time I press anything, it's Come On Eileen that comes on.
It's very upbeat.
Anya Devine teaches portraiture part-time at Edinburgh Drawing School. Having failed to make an impression in last year's Glasgow heat using oils, she's the only artist to date choosing to paint in watercolour.
I'm really enjoying the way you're blocking out the face. I mean, at the moment, his features are really delineated by about 4 or 5 quite bold marks.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're going to get a bit more detail in them.
Cautious of not avoiding the face, but also of not zoning in too much too early on.
Exactly,
so.
because once you start doing it, then you don't want to kill it later by having 2 hours to play around with the face.
I would have liked to paint someone a lot older and not sort of young and beautiful.
34-year-old Nuala Heron is from Derry. She graduated from art school in Edinburgh and now teaches art part-time at the Royal Blind School. One of the things you all agree is painting a beautiful woman is very difficult.
It is, yeah.
Because it's such a subtle
It is, yeah.
thing.
I feel like I need a long time to kind of smooth the paint and, you know, make it smooth, like to reflect her skin tone. Whereas if it was someone older and, you know, with more lines, then I could kind of make it more, leave it as it is, and instead of having to smooth it. So
I don't think we'll tell her that you wish she had more lines.
no, hopefully I won't add them.
I love the fact that you wear a boiler suit and rubber gloves to
It's all
work.
part of the artist look.
Yeah, well, part artist, part serial killer.
Cole Casey has been a professional artist for over 15 years. His work has been shortlisted for the BP Award twice.
So, Cole, you paint still life quite a lot. If this was a 4-hour competition to draw a bowl of apples, your method would be exactly the same as drawing Sharon.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much the same process. You're just sitting down and painting them, really. Yeah.
I've never been compared to a bowl of apples before.
The apples are slightly more straightforward in that they don't move, they don't smile, they don't frown, they don't, you know, so it's
They
all...
don't flirt.
Yeah, that's true, yeah, from my experience.
You stay out of this, Sharon.
But, you know, Sharon does, she moves and she talks and, you know, so there are slight complications to
Yeah,
the
but she's
process.
not supposed to move and talk. That's disobedience. Kathleen, every week I speak to one of the judges about their pose. Clearly you all put a lot of thought into it. And then we look at a lot of paintings of tight headshots that have kind of ignored the composition completely. Are we wasting our time?
No, absolutely not. We're not wasting our time. The context of the setting is really to sort of give a sort of a sense of that sitter or a sense of spirit of that person. Now, if you look at Colm, for example, with his love of Oscar Wilde, we've taken as inspiration this fantastic photograph by Saroni that was taken in about 1892 of Oscar Wilde, and he's lounging on this chaise longue which covered in luxurious fabrics and tapestries. So there's a reference there, but also there's a richness in the material that I think Colm's sort of grandeur and monumentality sits very comfortably in.
I wouldn't have got that. I thought Celtic chieftain.
Well, take it the way you want it, as long as the artist is getting something.
Ty, you posed Sharon, and do you know she
Dress?
was going to wear this dress?
No, I didn't know it was going to be off the shoulder, but it looks beautiful. It works very well.
But the dress is very transparent and very lacy. Is that difficult to paint?
Yes, if you decide to go into the details, but if you use it as a contrasting colour, you've got this very rich background. It could work very well. Well, I think it looks fantastic. So.
Yeah. The purple's very heavy, isn't it? The colour. It brings out a bit of purple in her hair, too.
Yes. I hadn't seen that. Nice one. I hadn't seen that. You're right.
It looks lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it works very well.
Neil and I are both huge fans of Egon Schiele. We loved his
Me
work.
too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I love it.
You can be part of our fan club.
You didn't think of getting him naked today?
No, actually, he said he wanted something very brave, but actually he wanted to be wearing his three-piece suit.
Oh, okay.
So I love it. It's got this fantastic sort of mismatch of colours and the old shoes. 10 years old these shoes are. He wanted something quite angular and was prepared to suffer for his art.
Okay. Well, it's quite an intense pose, isn't it, as it's come out? In a way, it's very Irish because it has that kind of... He looks like an artist or a poet
yeah,
or a
exactly.
writer.
But we've added the Divine Comedy in reference to his band, of course, and the gramophone. He's such a good songwriter.
Yes.
Tonight We Fly is one of my favourite songs ever, so I was so thrilled that he was our sitter.
There are various ways of getting a new perspective of a sitter, from using a mirror to binoculars, even turning a canvas upside down. But it can also offer another advantage.
Tell me why you like working upside down.
Well, just now and again I need to turn it over if I've flooded an area and I don't want all the colour to go into everywhere where there's wet paper. Do you know, it kind of works away from... I don't know, really, sometimes.
I thought you were delving into the left-hand side of your brain or something like that.
Colm is quite a formidable sitter. He's got an incredible physical presence, and I think they're all struggling with the likeness.
At the Irish Museum of Modern Art in Dublin, our artists have been working away for 2 hours. As only one can go through to the semi-final, the judges have been scrutinising their every brushstroke.
I think the artists have really paced themselves for a change. So instead of sort of throwing themselves into it, they've been much, much more measured.
Who's up there? That's what I want to know.
Anya, for me, is doing exactly what Kathleen just described. She's working in watercolours. It's always dangerous because people go too fast and then they've got time to kill and then they ruin it. She's just stayed well away from the face. She blocked it out, and it's almost as if, like, her afternoon treat, you know, half an hour to spare will be to do...
Yeah,
and I want to be
saved
there.
the eyes.
Yeah. And someone else has also done that as Gareth, who's is working in the beautiful charcoal.
It's a fantastic
He's
drawing.
really paced himself well. Tell you, someone's really disappointed me, though, is Charlotte doing the drawing. I mean, not only have I not been able to see anything, but what I have seen is really hard.
But she's got a lot of work to do. You know, judging by a self-portrait, I mean, there's a lot of detail. I just don't quite know how she's going to try to get that across.
I wondered how long that took. That, to me, looks like a very laboured piece of work that might have taken days, weeks, months, years.
Maybe she's an express finisher and we're all going to say, wow.
Whose portraits do you admire? What portraits do you admire?
I have to say Ty, but...
Don't try it.
Philip Mackey paints coats of arms for a living and only ventured into painting portraits 4 years ago. Today, he will be using egg tempera, a medium where powdered paint is traditionally bound with egg yolk.
Taking a real chance today.
Okay.
And I'm using egg tempera out of a tube. So I'm kind of out of my comfort zone.
It dries very quickly, doesn't it?
That's one of the reasons why I'm using it.
That's what you regularly use?
No.
You've not used it before?
No. Twice, just...
Have you had enough practice with this?
Well, if the truth be told, no.
Because I'm just focusing on the face, I feel like I'm drawing a map. Sometimes I don't even see the face, I'm just following, you know, rivers and valleys and that kind of thing.
There's certainly a lot of rivers and valleys on that face, aren't there? It's incredible.
Yeah, he has an amazing, amazing expression.
Siwan McGann is a mixed media artist, and her career has seen her create visual effects for NASA and blockbuster films. Today, she's using coloured pencils, but not on paper.
I'm on wood. I love wood. I love the texture of wood, and you know, the grain sets up a bit of pattern already. I love working on wood.
And you were happy with this angle? You wanted a profile, didn't you?
I did like this angle. I think you get more shadows, and you know, I like those lights and darks. I think they're what give you drama, and you know, the nose will cast a shadow, and I find that just angle gives a lot of personality.
It's very strange the way, because you know, I focus on a spot on the wall there and I try to keep it as still as possible, and people walk into your vision and you're staring right at them, you know, and they just sort of stand there, like it's almost like you become an inanimate object yourself, you know. It's very strange, and you can stare right at them, which you would never do in a normal, you know, if you look at someone, you don't stare at them, you know. It's extraordinary, it really is. It changes the relationship between certainly kind of an audience actor relationship.
I'm loving listening to them talking about their work because, you know, it's so interesting how they kind of define themselves through it and how much they give away about themselves. I'm thinking the whole time about, okay, so the subject is me, but really they're conveying themselves ultimately because it's their art.
What colour are your eyes?
Green.
I just hope that they don't prettify me. That would be hard, but I hope that it's a warts and all thing, just, you know, paint what's there. I don't want to see any kind of handsome matinee idol looks. I hope they're not all really, really good. I hope just one is particularly good, so it makes my decision a little easier at the end of the day.
I've got a confession to make, and that is that when we were judging all the portraits and your self-portrait came up, the other judges loved it and I was a bit more reticent because I loved the face. Obviously you're a very accomplished painter, but I thought the sort of all the allegory and mythological and the fact that there was a centaur was all just a bit too much for me. And basically I now am going to have to completely eat my words because this is really wonderful. And I'm now realising that what you did was really attract our attention and give us a real talking point.
Friends and family are always a huge support for the artists, and it's not just by being here today.
We've all been painted. Obviously, the children don't really sit for very long, so that's from photographs. But I've had to sit and read my book for a few hours, and that's been very pleasant.
I went over to visit, and he asked me to sit, do a little portrait. He'd been doing a lot of people. It was the first time I ever sat for him.
The last 2 weeks he had offered free portraits to people and had been doing a bit of a marathon run. He's about 8 portraits stacked up in his studio at the moment, tried a few different things out.
Artists, you have 30 minutes to complete your work.
I still have a lot to do. Yeah, it's not the most flattering.
Do you ever think to yourself, you know, that the charcoal looks so good, I might just stick with that?
I was thinking if things go really bad, I'll just put that up in front.
I'm punching out the hair because the hair was just floating there. But once I got all this done, I was able to look and see that her hair is tonally brighter than that purple, so that purple needs to be pushed, tonally brought down.
I'm not sure. I haven't got it right yet. I'm a bit blind to it. I can't really see what I'm doing wrong.
You've just got round to the eyes.
Yeah, you could
You've been
say with
saving the eyes. You have, haven't you?
Well, I think I like to work up to them a bit and kind of find a position of things before I go into too much detail painting them, you know. Sometimes you can get really kind of preoccupied and then you stand back and it's a lovely eye in the wrong place.
I might just repaint the whole thing, you know? I might just go
and just go for it all over again.
Here at the Irish Museum of Modern Art, the artists are in the final stages of their challenge.
Artists, you have 10 minutes to go.
Give the poor man some hair. I don't think any man wants to lose his hair when he still has a full head.
Thought about hair not working, so I'm just going to get rid of it.
Losing battle at this point, but still fighting.
I don't think I could do much more to it, to be honest.
I'd say I'm just faffing around now, kind of.
Artists, your time is up.
Please step away from your easels.
As a reward for sitting still, the sitters finally get to see their portraits and choose their favourite to keep. Is there a portrait in your mind that you dream of? Are you going to look rugged?
I like to be thin, you know, young and handsome, but, you know, that ain't going to happen.
I haven't seen that one.
No.
Well, let's not delay any longer. Can I ask the artist, please turn your easels? You can see you thinking in that
You can
portrait.
actually, yeah, and particularly, I love what you've done around the eyes. Wow, wonderful, thank you. This is spectacular, it's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Ah! This is something you might be looking at, not only for the rest of your life, but your descendants might be looking at it for the rest of their life.
I think I have to go with...
Artists, would you like to turn your paintings around now?
Oh, wow. It's beautiful. It's really delicate and very feminine, and I love the neckline on it. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. I mean, it's like everybody has captured a different part of me.
It is a very accomplished piece of work.
It is. It's beautiful.
And now Charlotte? Now Charlotte, highly original.
It's definitely me, that's for sure. When I looked at first, I went, oh my God, where's the rest of me?
Yeah. But you don't need any more.
Well, I'd like to have a bit more in general. I'm really caught, actually. I think I'm going to go for Colm.
It's quite disturbing. Well done.
Thanks.
Blimey.
It's got a sort of Irish literary hero feel to it.
I'm almost devastated by my own beauty.
It's very it is, though. It's a romantic...
Yeah, this is going to be really hard. I'll pin the rosette.
You went for the best looking one.
I know, I said I wouldn't. I said I wouldn't.
The judges are now left alone to consider today's portraits.
There's no doubt this is very accomplished.
It's incredibly accomplished.
The light glowing through the ear is pretty amazing.
It feels slightly over-romanticised for me, but as you say, it's a brilliant painting.
When you do things the old-fashioned way, you just have to do them really well. And I'm not sure how I'd rate on that.
It's very sort of traditional.
He's shown us the drawing and then he's shown us what he can do in paint, and it is a real improvement.
The way the shoulders are positioned tells you so much more about the character as well. It's almost like he's going to jump up and have a fight with you straight away.
The judges are probably thinking mine's a bit on the traditional side, which I don't mind, because I'm a traditional kind of guy.
I never thought that I'd be quite so seduced by a watercolour, I have to say.
She's fought for everything and in such a beautiful way.
She just really knew how to pace herself.
I feel satisfied that it's what I would do if I was at home on my own.
It's a beautiful little jewel of a painting.
I think the idea of getting a painting so correct that it's only about the moment now. And what was so nice about this painting is that it sort of breathed. It could be her in all kinds of states, and it had that open reading. You could read it in any way you wanted.
It's a perfect sort of representation of someone deep in thought, and that's what I love about it.
It's almost there, it's nearly there, you know? So another half hour, I think I could have nailed it. There's some brilliant work there. Gareth Reid's drawing of Sharon I thought was brilliant, and I think that deserves to go through.
I don't think we've had a charcoal before that's ever been a contender in the way that this is such a contender.
My immediate reaction is to go, it's too pretty, it's too beautiful.
Do you think it's prettier than Colm's?
Yes, it is, because it's sweeter. Colm's is slightly more abstracted.
I imagine they're saying the head's too big, because I just realised that I made a bit of a mistake there.
Before they choose who will go through to the semi-final, the judges narrow the contenders down to 3.
We've got 4, all of the portraits of Neil.
Although this one is lovely, I don't think it really stands up, does it?
No.
The paintings at either end for me aren't as strong. I think they're the 3 that are really sticking out.
Artists, you've done some incredible work, and we thank you for that.
Unfortunately, only 3 of you can make it onto the shortlist. And after much deliberation, the judges have made their decision. The first artist to go through to the shortlist is Anya Devine.
The second artist is Connor Walton.
And the third artist is Cole Casey.
Our commiserations to all of you who have made it. We've enjoyed all your painting throughout the day. Well done.
I thought I had a bit of a chance, to be honest, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Overall, an epic experience. Delighted I was part of it.
The judges now take the opportunity to talk to the shortlisted 3 about today's work and their self-portrait before they make their final decision.
Connor, a very beautiful portrait of Neil, and very interested to watch how you built up the surface.
It's difficult for me at this point to sort of stand beside it and not want to sort of, you know, even put my finger on it and smooth out a few bits.
We have to mention it, but, you know, you're a winged scorpion-tailed centaur. Do you work a lot with mythology?
I would try to keep my range broad.
Okay.
Paint can take you places.
Yeah.
It can take you anywhere. It's the territory of the imagination and the territory of myth.
Well, you've got a great spread of ideas, and it's very well
And
done.
you gave the audience a real masterclass, I think, in portrait painting today. You were much enjoyed, so congratulations. How did it feel second time round? To be in the final 3?
Oh, to be in the final 3, I was surprised, actually. I didn't think I was going to make it to the final 3 today, but...
But you got a spirit. You definitely got a spirit.
Yeah?
It's
Okay.
great.
If you'd have had more time, what would you have done?
I'd love another day at it. I'd probably just move her eyes down slightly, and I'd consider the purple in the background. And in some ways, I'd try and bring maybe just a bit of that into the face. The face, to me, is a bit too tight, really, for her personality, you know?
How did you find him as a sitter?
I found him great as a sitter, really still in himself and lovely angles. I like the kind of dynamic pose as well, the shoulder being a bit higher. And
I like the fact that you're not saying he was, you know, his mental state was very interesting. You're just looking at him as an object and seeing what you see without putting anything of your emotions into him at all. Because it's a very emotionally charged portrait, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's very strong that way.
The thing that struck me was that it was good to go away for a little while, even just, you know, to stand well back often and not to be in any mad hurry, but to start off getting there quite quickly, I suppose, as well, you know, taking risks early on.
They seem to like the picture more than I did, so that's good, I suppose.
They look like really beautifully observed pieces of work, so stiff competition there.
Oh, I'm surprised and delighted to have got into the last three, and just looking forward to hearing who won.
You've had a good judging session, have you? Do you feel
It's been a fantastic
Today's been
play.
fantastic.
I mean, the quality, standard of the artist was really high.
If I'm going to be totally honest, I think Cole was the surprise one of the three for me. I thought it was very good, but it didn't really move me. Maybe it will. I mean, I really
Need a bit more time.
I thought Mark's was very vibrant and alive. I personally would have probably put that in the top three.
Well, it was very nearly in the top three. He was certainly in our top 5.
Can I ask, the charcoal, Sharon, was that ever
it was
in it for you?
Definitely, and even actually there was one that I really thought might end up in the top 3. I think the problem with it was that it was just so of that particular moment. It didn't really transcend it.
It was very much a portrait.
It was.
You know, professional. It was very professional.
I thought it was academic. Is that a good
And
word
it did go
for it?
beyond it, but it was very good.
It's interesting that Neil's area, that all the paintings came different, but each of them was good. And that may well be an attribute of the sitter.
I agree.
I think there's something to do with the sitter. I think there was something rather intimidating about Colm.
I think 3 of them didn't make it with Colm, which suggests that it was tough to paint. And that's why I kind of thought Mark should have been rewarded for actually achieving what his 3 colleagues hadn't.
Well, you can give him a special prize.
Do you feel you've reached the decision now?
Yes, but I don't think you'll be happy.
Do you know what? I haven't been happy since September the 24th, 1986.
Congratulations on having made it to the final 3, but as you well know, only one person can go through to the semi-final, and the judges have made their decision.
The artist that they have chosen to go through to the semi-final has displayed, and I quote, a brave and experimental use of a traditional medium and achieved a complex likeness of their sitter. And that person is... Anya Devine.
It feels wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I'm really delighted because I had a lovely day. I really enjoyed painting it, and then this is like the icing on the cake, really.
I was delighted to get the last 3, and I think Anya's painting was a deserving winner.
I'm relieved because I know that the next round would be harder and I can go back to my cave now and relax.
I can't believe it. Oh, brilliant, absolutely. It affirms that what you're doing with your life is okay. And so, yeah, it's really encouraging.